Let's set the stage. The year is 1975, and the Swiss watch industry is on the brink of collapse. But in the shadows of this looming uncertainty, a remarkable timepiece is being forged, one so rare, so ahead of its time, that it would remain hidden from the public eye for decades. This is the story of that watch. Welcome to the untold story of the Vacheron Constantin Royal Chronometer 2215, the most secretive and rarest watch in the world, and it's sitting right here on my wrist. What you're looking at is not just a watch, it's a piece of horological history that has been overshadowed, forgotten, and overlooked far too long. I recently received archives from Vacheron on my personal piece, and the results will shock you. To truly appreciate the 2215, we need to step back in time. The mid-1970s were a tumultuous era for high-end watch manufacturers. The quartz revolution was in full swing, threatening to wipe out centuries of mechanical watchmaking tradition. Swiss watch exports plummeted from 40 million units in 1973 to just 3 million by 1983. Entire companies were going bankrupt, and thousands of skilled artisans were losing their jobs. The very soul of Swiss watchmaking was at stake. In 1972, Audemars Piguet had thrown a Hail Mary with the Royal Oak, a luxury steel sports watch that created an entirely new category in the market. It was revolutionary, polarizing, and ultimately a lifeline for the struggling industry. But how about other prestigious maisons? How would they respond to this existential threat? Enter Vacheron Constantin, the oldest continuously operating watch manufacturer in the world. Founded in 1755, they had weathered storms before, but nothing quite like this. They needed something extraordinary, something that would showcase their centuries of expertise while appealing to the changing market. In 1975, they unveiled their secret weapon, the Royal Chronometer 2215. This watch was so ahead of its time, so daring in its design for a conservative watch house like Vacheron, that it remained largely unknown until now. At first glance, you might think the 2215 was just Vacheron's chess move against Audemars Piguet's Royal Oak, but it's so much more than that. Let's uncover why this watch deserves a special place in horological history. Vacheron Constantin, a brand steeped in tradition, knew they needed a hit. The Royal Oak, released in 1972, had created an entirely new category, the luxury steel sports watch. Vacheron couldn't afford to be left behind. While we don't know exactly when the concept for the 2215 was born, it's not hard to imagine Vacheron's designers and executives huddled together, studying the Royal Oak and asking themselves, how do we compete against this? What they came up with was nothing short of revolutionary. The Royal Chronometer 2215 wasn't just a response to the Royal Oak. It was Vacheron's bold statement that they too could innovate and push boundaries. The 2215 features an elongated octagonal case with an integrated bracelet. Sound familiar? It should, because only a year later, in 1976, the now famous Patek Philippe Nautilus would debut with a strikingly similar design. They do say imitation is the serest form of flattery. Look at these two side by side. The resemblance is uncanny. The case shape, the integrated bracelet, and the way the bezel flows seamlessly into the case. All these elements are present in both watches. This begs the question, did Gerald Genta, the legendary designer of the Nautilus, draw inspiration from the 2215? If true, this would mean the 2215 not only predates the Nautilus, but would have also influenced its design, making it a crucial link in the evolution of luxury sports watches. But the 2215's significance goes well beyond this. Inside beats the Vacheron Caliber 1096, a chronometer-grade movement adjusted to heat, cold, isochronism in 5 positions. This level of precision was extraordinary for the time and remains impressive even by today's standards. It's a testament to Vacheron's commitment to horological excellence, even in the face of the quartz crisis. So is this watch rare? According to Vacheron Constantine's archives, fewer than 220 examples were made in steel, with only 50 in yellow gold. To put this in perspective, it's estimated that Audemars Piguet produced around 6,000 Royal Oaks in the first decade. If Vacheron had continued producing the 2215, AP would still have churned out 3 times more Royal Oaks over the same time period. This extreme scarcity adds to the 2215's mystique and historical significance. In fact, this may be the rarest regular production run watch among any of the big watch brands in history ever. Its allure extends far beyond its limited numbers, captivating even those in the upper echelons of celebrity. Brad Pitt, one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood, chose to purchase a gold Vacheron Constantine 2215. He can have any watch in the world, but this is a watch that found its way onto the wrist of this movie icon. Here's a watch so rare, so special, that it speaks volumes without shouting. It's the quintessential if you know, you know among the most discerning watch collectors in the world. It's not just about star power or rarity. It's about the exquisite details. Take a look at this dial. The gray Sigma dial features either raised white gold markers or baguette diamonds at the 3, 9, and 12 o'clock position. A date window at 6 o'clock perfectly balances functionality and elegance. These beautiful hour markers break up the fine texture of the dial, bringing a pop of luxury and refinement to the otherwise modern, monochromatic feel of the watch. The subtle texturing catches the light in a way that's impossible to capture on film. It's these little details that showcase Vacheron's uncompromising attention to artistry. The 37mm steel case and integrated bracelet showcases exquisite vertical brushing and polished bevels, which were all polished by hand. The way it sits on the wrist is nothing short of perfection. The hard lines, softened by these polished bevels, bring life to the watch that's rarely seen in case architecture. It's a design that was ahead of its time, predicting the trend towards integrated bracelets that would dominate luxury sports watches for decades to come, including and up to today. The fact that Vacheron Constantin, a traditional watch house, was willing to take such risk speaks volumes about the pressures facing the Swiss watch industry in the 1970s. The 2215 may have been overshadowed by its successors, but its influence on the world of horology is undeniable. Now, you're probably wondering, if this watch is so special, why haven't I heard about it before? Well, that's where our story takes an interesting turn. Imagine walking into a boutique in the mid-1970s, hoping to catch a glimpse of this revolutionary timepiece. Your chances would have been slim to none. This extreme scarcity meant that even in 75 and 76, the 2215 was a ghost, rarely seen and even more rarely owned. Rarity alone doesn't explain its obscurity, though. The 2215 was like a shooting star, brilliant but all too brief. It graced the horological world for just 2 years before Vacheron Constantin replaced it with the 222 in 1977. 2 years. That's barely enough time for word of mouth to spread, let alone for the watch to cement its place in the pantheon of great timepieces. Here's where the plot thickens, and we uncover a bit of watchmaking intrigue. Enter Georg Heisek, a young and ambitious designer tasked with creating Vacheron's next big thing. Imagine, Heisek walks into Vacheron's hallowed halls, knowing full well that he's not just competing against other brands, but against a spectacular in-house design, the 2215. Heisek must have realized he was in a unique position. He had to create something that would not only rival the Royal Oak and the Nautilus, but also surpass Vacheron's own 2215. It's here where the story exposes an interesting revelation. The 2215, despite its brilliance, had a weakness. anonymity. Its desire remained a mystery, a complete ghost. Heisek was cunning and likely saw this as his advantage. He knew that in the world of hot horology, a designer's name would carry as much weight as the watch itself. Think about Heisek, burning the midnight oil, sketching and resketching, always with one eye on the 2215. He wasn't just designing a watch, he was crafting his legacy, a chance to put his name alongside the likes of Gerald Genta. The pressure must have been immense. The result? The 222, which overtook the Royal Chronometer when it was released. It captured the imagination of watch enthusiasts and is often mistakenly credited as Vacheron's first entry into the luxury sports watch category. Our 2215, the true pioneer, was left in the shadows and almost forgotten forever. As a collector and enthusiast, owning this piece feels like possessing a secret chapter of horological history. Every time I glance at this watch, I'm not just checking the time, I'm connecting with that pivotal moment. It's a time capsule, a silent witness to an industry in turmoil and the innovative spirit that rose to meet that challenge. The story of the 2215 is a reminder that in the world of watches, as in life, timing is everything. Sometimes true innovation comes just a bit too early to be fully appreciated. But that's what makes watches like this so special. They're an unsung hero, the unforgotten pioneers that paved the way for the icons we know and love today. Its influence can be seen throughout Vacheron Constantine's modern lineup, specifically in the overseas collection. The DNA of the 2215, that perfect balance of sportiness and elegance, lives on in these contemporary masterpieces. But its influence extends far beyond Vacheron's walls, continuing to inspire watch designs even today. Take Gerald Genta's creations, for instance. While Genta is famous for the Royal Oak and Nautilus, his more recent work shows a fascinating evolution that echoes the 2215's legacy. The original Genta Maestro and Genta's last creation, known for its distinctive design, didn't feature an integrated bracelet. However, the newly released Genta Master Link tells a different story. This modern timepiece echoes the pioneering spirit of the Vacheron 2215 with its elongated octagonal case and integrated bracelet, as if the 2215's essence has been reborn today. The Master Link exemplifies the lasting influence of the 2215, proving that nearly 5 decades later, its innovative approach to luxury sports watch design still inspires and shapes the horological landscape. The influence extends further with the Spec Inzuna SP0017, which pays homage to the 2215 through its case shape and bracelet design, resonating with contemporary watchmakers. Similarly, the main Manhattan 37 draws heavily from the 2215's playbook, showcasing its impact beyond hot horology into the broader watch community. The 2215 wasn't just a watch, it was a design revolution. Its unique blend of sportiness and elegance, its innovative case shape, and its seamless integration of bracelet and case have become a blueprint for luxury sports watches. The fact that Vacheron Constantine, a brand steeped in tradition, was willing to take such risks speaks volumes about the pressures facing the Swiss watch industry in the 1970s. But more than that, it proves that even in the darkest times, true craftsmanship and visionary design can produce something extraordinary, something that continues to inspire and influence decades later. And while it may have arrived a bit too soon to be fully appreciated in its time, its legacy lives on in the watches we admire and wear today. It's a testament to the enduring power of great design and the far-reaching influence of a true horological pioneer. The Royal Chronometer 2215 is a piece of horological history that deserves to be celebrated. It represents a pivotal moment when traditional watchmaking stood its ground against the court's onslaught, proving that mechanical artistry would always have a place in the world of horology. Every time I wear this watch, I feel like I'm wearing a piece of that defiant spirit. It's a reminder that sometimes the most amazing stories are hidden in plain sight, or in this case, right on my wrist. All you watch enthusiasts out there, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep uncovering these hidden gems, because in this hobby, there are always more stories waiting to be told. You never know what next historical or iconic watch is out there. If you're as fascinated by horological history as I am, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Over 90% of our viewers aren't subscribed, so if you enjoyed this video, this is the best way to show your support. Until next time, we'll see you.